On the 6th of April 2025, I introduced the famous Sphinx in Egypt, with the most mysterious part being the underground archive beneath the lion's paws, the Hall of Amenti. Despite widespread rumors, the Egyptian government has strictly prohibited any archaeological excavations, leaving the Hall of Amenti as nothing more than a legend. However, what many don't know is that in the picturesque Bucegi Mountains National Park in Romania, there is another Sphinx. Although it isn't as grand as Egypt's and looks like a naturally weathered rock, it has gradually gained attention. This is because there have been frequent reports in the area of mysterious attacks by unidentified creatures, sightings of UFOs, and even unexplained disappearances. As a result, locals believe that the mountain is home to an alien base or some kind of connection to an underground civilization. Radu Cinamar, an agent of the Secretive Zero Department, and his mentor, Cesar Brad, were tasked with investigating the Romanian Sphinx. The Zero Department is extremely mysterious, known only to the head of state and security officials. It handles supernatural events, much like Romania's version of the X-Files. Their investigation revealed startling findings. Beneath the Sphinx, they discovered a secret chamber that contained advanced holographic technology, believed to be around 50,000 years old. Inside the chamber was a massive table, over 1.8 meters tall. The beings who built it were giants compared to humans. When people placed their hands on the table, they could see their DNA in three-dimensional holograms. The devices on the table could also show the DNA of alien species and reveal which stars they came from. This extraordinary room also featured a projection hall, where people could witness a holographic recreation of Earth's history. Unfortunately, the devices ceased functioning around the 5th century AD for reasons unknown. Beneath the chamber, 3 mysterious tunnels led to the Earth's interior and to places like Iraq, Mongolia, Tibet, and Egypt. Later, Radu and his team collaborated with American researchers to explore these tunnels. They discovered another hidden chamber beneath Egypt's Giza Plateau, where the pyramids and the Sphinx are located. This might be the legendary Hall of Amenti. Inside, they found numerous neatly arranged stone slabs, which Radu and his team identified as ancient DVDs capable of projecting holographic world history, but without the need for a projector. The slabs were sent to the United States for detailed research. By 2015, scientists had managed to download 80% of the data, but interpreting it remains a challenge. In 2009, Radu began publishing books about these discoveries, each causing international stir. One of the books, Forgotten Genesis, contains some mind-boggling revelations. During their investigation of the tunnels, Radu and his team encountered a wise being from the inner world called Drin, who introduced them to the subterranean city of Apellos. The Apellos people looked similar to humans, with smooth, shiny brown hair, pale skin, high foreheads, and narrow eyes. Their intelligence was exceptional, and they communicated with Radu in Romanian. They also possessed advanced technology, which we will explore further. Though ordinary people cannot access their world, they have bases on the surface, which appear like hangars in remote locations. Once inside, you can feel as if you've vanished from our world, as your phone and GPS will stop working, though you might not notice anything unusual. One day, the Apellos people invited Radu to visit one of their bases, hoping he could act as a liaison between them and the surface world. During his visit, Radu had an extraordinary holographic experience, seeing a cross-section of the Earth, revealing a structure beyond anything he could have imagined. Their technology includes a cross-dimensional helmet, which, despite its thin appearance, has powerful capabilities. According to Radu, using the helmet provides an experience on a conscious level, not just a sensory one. It's similar to how a radio picks up a signal. It tunes into a frequency. With this helmet, Radu felt as if he were not just observing, but truly becoming a part of what he was seeing, fully immersed in the experience. As Radu was marveling at the experience, the scenery around him suddenly changed, and he felt himself rapidly rising out of the earth. What appeared before him was a cross-section of the planet, like a watermelon sliced open, and the entire inner world of the Earth was laid bare. At the center of the Earth, he saw a black hole, with everything else aligned along the magnetic lines generated by it. These lines function like meridians in the human body, circulating energy and nourishing life on Earth. The nodes where these lines intersected were brightly lit, and many of them were hidden in forests and mountains, with some being marked by castles or ancient structures. The Apellos people explained that some of these buildings were constructed by them, while others were built by different civilizations. These locations served as important gateways to the Earth's interior, and many other similar portals existed around the world, even at the bottom of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, though those were alien bases. Additionally, there were specific entry points where people could connect directly to cities in the Earth's inner world. These entry points were called cross-dimensional rifts because the inner world exists in a different dimension. Radu also learned that beneath the Earth's crust, which is made up of molten magma, lies the inner world. An area about 2,500 kilometers below the surface. This inner world is hollow and about the size of Venus. The Apellos people explained that beyond a certain depth, the planet enters a subtle etheric dimension, then into a more subtle starlight dimension. The concept of space is very different in these dimensions, which is why it's difficult for us to understand using conventional physics. A key example of this inner world is seen in the Mayan calendar. The Maya's most ancient and important calendar, the 260-day Jizokan calendar, has no known origin or explanation, yet it was used by the Maya for as long as recorded history goes. Strangely, the Maya also knew the Earth's year as 365 days. And around 500 BC, they created the Hob calendar to track this. However, they did not abandon the 260-day Jokan calendar, and instead combined the two, creating a unique system based on a 52-year cycle. Radu explains that the 260-day cycle is actually the year cycle of the inner world. He recently visited the inner city of Utiklaha, where he met descendants of the ancient Maya. If the Maya had frequent contact with the inner world, combining their surface and inner world calendars would make sense, much like how clocks in hotel lobbies display different time zones. The question then arises, where does the light for this inner world come from? It's not the sun, but rather the black hole at the Earth's core. This inner sun is only a few hundred kilometers in diameter and shines with about half the intensity of our sun. But it's enough to nourish the people of the inner world. There is no concern for weather, as the temperature remains stable and the climate is pleasant. Strangely, in the inner world, despite its advanced technology, there are no dams, power plants, or industrial projects. Humans live harmoniously with nature. High technology isn't an enemy of nature, but is used to coexist with it. At the end of his experience, Radu was given the helmet as a gift, and was told the reason. They showed him all this was because they wanted him to help reveal important information about humanity's past. They planned to invite him back 2 more times. Afterward, Radu shared his experience with his mentor, who spoke of multidimensional space. The mentor explained that humans can shift their vibrational frequency to enter other dimensions, much like tuning a radio to different frequencies. Currently, Earth is transitioning to a higher frequency, entering a 4D dimension, while the old Earth at a 3D frequency still exists. This transition will intensify between around 2025, bringing significant galactic energy pulses that will deeply affect human consciousness. Some people are eager to raise their spiritual frequency and move into the 4D dimension, while others remain attached to the material world. This division is widening, with those moving toward 4D becoming purer, and those remaining in 3D becoming more entrenched in their old ways. The mentor concluded, "Let's hope there are enough people to help others." Radu didn't discuss further what would happen to those who remain in the 3D dimension after Earth ascends.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.